Welcome to The Curve Weekly, the podcast that keeps you up to date with all of the money, business, and stock market tea.
Brought to you by the Curve's research team. It's the latest insights on what's happening in the stock market, companies, other money-related news so that you can stay educated and ahead of the curve.
You can thank us later for sounding smarter than those finance bros at your next dinner party.
I can't believe I'm speaking to the one and only coin tosser from the tennis.
Oh my gosh.
How did you get roped into that?
I'm just such a tennis pro. No, I was doing a presentation for ASB and just before I spoke, they were like, "Hey Vic, would you like to do the coin toss?" And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, great. But everyone was like, oh my gosh, are you going to do it? Oh my God. So everyone was kind of building. I was like, oh, this is quite a big deal.
Imagine if you dropped the coin or something. Sorry. Also, for anyone listening and they have no idea what we're talking about, the tennis is happening in New Zealand at the moment. Vic is
the ASB Classic. Yes, it's like our Australian Open.
And Vic is in New Zealand right now, and she is getting all the PR for the Curve. And actually, the best part was Tom from the Curve, like who actually works with us, sent us like a screenshot of the ad, and it's like, "Want to be the coin tosser?" And it's literally got like the outline of a child and a question mark over the head,
and it's like, "Make your dreams come true." And it's, I know,
I was so proud of you, Vic. Good on you.
The players are also so young and like so
what?
Lots of muscle. You know, like they're athletes. Yeah.
Yeah. They did text saying they're hot, but they are 18.
Yes.
Sorry.
Anyway, 2025. Woo.
Oh, I know. I love that you say that as if I maybe have forgotten.
Yeah. It is in the
notes.
Honestly,
no, it has been actually, it's been a nice break. Sometimes I get bored of my own voice. So it's nice to have just like, had a couple of weeks to stop talking and then now we're back. However, do you know what it did make me realize, Vic?
How much you miss me?
I don't know. Yeah, that. But I don't know anything that happens in the financial markets and the news without the Curve Weekly. Someone was saying something yesterday about Trump wanting to take over Iceland or Greenland and Mexico. And I was like, quickly Googling, like,
you're like, where's Vic when I need her?
And I was like, oh, wow, thank God for Vic.
Yeah, no, I must admit, I did an event at the tennis, and it was talking about interest rates, what's going on in the economy, America, Trump, and my brain was hurting because it hadn't been used in a while.
You've really switched off.
Yeah, no, it's just like I can read the news, but just like talking about it, interpreting it, I hadn't done for a while,
We're starting the year with a fun new game that we've decided is going to be an ongoing tradition. So 2026, wow. Imagine what's going to happen this year. That just all of a sudden hit me. We've got a whole fresh year. I must say, I've started the year strong. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling strong about
financially strong, physically strong, emotionally strong, all of the above.
Not emotionally strong, although getting there. I would say physically not strong at all, also getting there. Financially strong, not like quite financially strong, I would say, actually. I just meant like I really take the new year as such a chance to just clean all my shit up, It's like, right, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do that. And I think I was listening or watching to Grace Beverley's YouTube about her productivity method. She was going on about how it's fine to make a goal. I mean, yes, a goal written down is 40% more likely to come true, but if you don't break down the steps from where you are now to where you're going, which essentially ends up being habits, which we all know, but actually like to go and spend the time to go and do the thing and then put it in your calendar and whether it's an automatic payment or whether it's reminding yourself that you want to do a gratitude journal, whatever the things are, you need to put things in place. And I'm just feeling like proud of myself.
That visualization thing is definitely so
I've got
true.
A full-on background on my computer now.
Yeah, like phone. People do like vision boards. Yeah, oh nice.
I've done one.
I did my 10-year vision at the end of last year.
Good God. What's in it?
It's like where I'll be living, what I'll be doing, how I'm feeling, who
I'm
with.
Huge. You can't reveal this to me in a podcast.
We'll take it offline.
We'll take this offline. We'll take this offline. Because now I'm scared you're going to be like, yeah, okay, we'll take that offline.
But it's so true. If you visualize it, it comes true. Well, most of the time. But
well, it's not just visualizing though, right? Like you've got to actually do the stuff.
Yeah.
Like as an example, if your goal was you wanted to invest 10% of your paycheck every month, do you know what 10% of your paycheck is? Have you automated that amount into where you plan? You know, like it's all good to say it, but unless you go and do the work, there's kind of no point in writing it down.
You know what also helps setting yourself up financially for the year is being in a country where your money goes further. So converting my pounds into Kiwi dollars, it's effectively like doubling my money, which is great.
But isn't it kind of not doubling your money when things are double the price?
Well, it's like paying for a coffee over here that might be $5. It's like £2.50. Everything here is expensive, don't get me wrong. It's definitely more expensive than when I left. But because I'm now earning pounds and converting it back, my pounds are essentially doubling. Okay. So it's great. Yeah. So everything feels, you know, when you go to the UK as a Kiwi, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm not convinced only because, I mean, are you basically saying that our salary when we go to New Zealand has doubled? However, even though things are expensive in New Zealand, they're not quite as expensive as literally double. So, for example, if a coffee here is £3, it's not going to be 6 New Zealand. It might be 5. So even though, okay, you're right.
So everything seems cheaper. Yeah, it might just be a mindset thing, but
also
I think just like summertime is a bit more cheap.
That is not true. You go on the most outrageous summer holidays.
But in Europe, yes.
Europe.
You know, like
true.
Here I just go up to the Coromandel and just like swim and go to the beach and play tennis and go for walks. It's like very cheap holidays in the sense of
when
activities.
You own the house that you get to holiday in, it's very cheap.
When we did that post around financial transparency and I disclosed what my investments were and it was inspired by Girls That Invest, one of our community members pointed out, what about your investment in the curve?
I did think that when I saw it.
And I was like, oh my goodness, that is my biggest asset right now. And
you just casually left it off?
When you're so in something, or just how much I hadn't thought of a private investment in a business. I'm sorry. I put my hand up and said, I don't know what happened. I think my brain was still on holiday.
Oh, we actually did have a question.
Yes. My emergency fund being so low.
Like that seems really low.
Because I used it.
On what?
I'm building it back up. Because I had a month where I had to pay a mortgage in between my tenants in my house in Auckland. So I had to use it. So yes.
So you actually had to use it on an emergency?
Yes.
This is a celebration.
Probably a bit of a grey area about whether it's an emergency and poor planning on my part. But yes, I dipped into it.
I was really glad that person said that because I thought the same thing. I thought Victoria Harris has been doing us dirty. She's been telling us to have 3 to 6 months of emergency funds. And here we are looking at yours and you've probably got 1. And then that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. I've never seen someone so excited for me to have an emergency.
Sorry, I know that's... It's because that's what they're for, you know? It's like, it's almost like being like, we prepare for earthquakes, but then there's never an earthquake. So, and I'm not saying an earthquake's a good thing, but it's like when you've done the preparation and you know to stand in the doorway, you know, there's a tiny little positive in there.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of emergency funds, I'm part of this group and we sell our clothes online, and it's great because it's like if I'm not wearing it or I'm gonna take it to the landfill, I'm gonna sell it and get some money for it. And I set my bank details to this girl that bought I think it was a top, and she was like, "What's the name on the account?" It's kind of a bit anonymous because there's 6 or 8 of us in the group, and so you don't really know who you're buying from. And then so I put my name, and she was like, she transferred the money for the top, and the account was called emergency fund. And she was like, "Oh," she's like, "Sorry, please don't." It's like so hilarious,
so good.
And I was like laughing. I was like, of all people that you could be buying a top off, it's me. And she just felt so guilty. It was quite funny. She's like,
That
please ignore the
is
fact that it's me.
so funny. Oh my
It was really
God.
good.
A
Yeah, it
really
was
good
quite
example
funny.
of a non-emergency, by the way.
I know. Yeah. And I was like, not judging, but kind of am.
That's so good.
I want to do a quick wrap up of 2024 because we had another incredible year in the stock market. The S&P 500, so the top 500 companies in the US, was up about 25%, which if you've been listening for a while, you know that that index or the US stock market usually does about 10% on average over the long term. That's kind of, if you average out all the ups and downs over the last 30 years, it's been about 10% return per year. So the fact that it's delivered 25% is like well above that. That's an incredible year. And I was looking back over the last 10 years, there's only been 3 years where the S&P 500 has delivered a negative return. And if we go back to the last 20 years, there's only 4 years that it's had a negative return.
What do you mean negative, as in someone would have lost money?
A negative year as in a negative annual year return. So this year it's done 25%, and a negative would be -1, -10, -20.
Far out. That would be so bad if it was doing negative.
But no, I'm
Yeah.
saying in the last 20 years, there's only been 4 years where it's finished negative or down.
I don't know. I don't
So
like those
invest.
stats.
4 out of 20 years.
Yeah.
That means like every year, pretty much, you're getting a positive return apart from 4 years.
For people like who maybe are hearing that and thinking, yeah, well, I don't want to get a negative return.
I would flip that on itself and say, for all those people that are like too scared to invest in the stock market, there's only been 4 times out of the last 20 years that you possibly could have lost money.
Okay, that's less scary.
Yeah. So all those people that are waiting for the stock market to be down before they invest and they're trying to time the market, good luck. You could be waiting 5 years, 4 years, like you could be waiting a very, very long time. So the lesson, everyone, invest.
And also the thing is, when we put our money in places like the S&P 500, for example, we're not putting it in there for a quick win anyway. So
No.
the idea is that you're not pulling it out on those years, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so the last 2 years have been over 20% return for the US stock market. And that is the best 2-year run that the stock market's had since 1998. The biggest contributor to that return was obviously the IT sector, so the information technology sector, which has got your Microsofts, your Nvidias, your Apples, which we all know have done fantastically well. So over half of that return was due to that sector. And then I got looking at other stock markets around the world. And I was like, yeah, we always talk about the US, but like, what about the UK? How is that done? And there's a reason no one's really talking about the UK stock market, or, everyone wants to invest in the US stock market. A, because it has done well, but also B, that the UK market hasn't done very well. So if you had put in $10,000 into the US stock market 24 years ago, so in 2000, you'd have $65,000. So you just put that $10,000 in and you didn't add to it at all, you'd have $65,000. If you'd put that in the UK stock market, you would have made $20,000. So quite a stark difference. Now, if you put that in as $100,000, and you'd have $650,000. The more you put in, the bigger your return. But this is why everyone wants to invest in the US stock market, is because it just continually does well and continues to outperform other stock markets around the world. So
it's banger after banger after banger, isn't it?
It is banger. But the more bangers it has, the more likelihood it is to have a non-banger.
I disagree.
Yeah.
AI is absolutely blowing up in our face.
Yeah.
Like don't you think innovation equals stock market going up to the right and having a great year?
Well, it leads to company profits, and a lot of the US stock market has got tech companies in it. And so, yes, when they're benefiting from things like AI, then the whole US stock market effectively does well. I love that you just segued into that. Do you think, Soph, we're moving on to our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think at the end of 2025 that the US stock market will be up or down?
Up.
Like what is a rough percentage?
No, I'm going to be specific here.
Okay. Yep.
What was 2024?
So 2023 was 24%. 2024 was 25%. So nearly 50%.
27%.
Sorry, me, my judgy face.
What are you putting down?
I reckon up 4%.
Oh no.
I was going to say down, but then I don't want to be a negative Nancy.
You reckon only 4%?
Yeah. There is no reasoning to my.
Oh my God, we're so different with our prediction. What makes you think it's going to be so bad?
Just purely probabilities of how well it's done. It's well above that 10% return. So I'm just thinking like it has to kind of come a bit back down to reality at some point.
Okay, here's my prediction. I think that AI is going to take, I reckon, another 2 years before it plateaus. So I reckon the next 2 years in the stock market is going to be bigger and then bigger. And then I think when AI starts to settle down and there's not a huge amount of growth happening there, then I think it's going to go back to being lower.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that.
So why did you make a 4% prediction?
Because I think the market's forward looking. So I think that's already priced in.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so genius. Damn, I want to change my answer. Oh my God, you're so right. That's such a good example of when you say markets are forward looking.
Yeah. But I think
oh my God, so they're going to crash.
No. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Will Bitcoin hit $200,000?
Yes.
It's currently, yeah. Okay. I'm going to say no just to make this more fun.
Yeah, fair. What do you reckon it would get to? Any ideas?
I think like 150 maybe. Like I think it's still, like if you look at this a Bitcoin chart, it like roofed it and did really well, then kind of plateaued for a while, then had this other leg up. Like it does these big jumps and then kind of like hovers around, it doesn't really do much. And then that has, there's something else that's a catalyst that like propels it up again. So I just feel like we're maybe in this bit of a lull. Like we had the boost from Trump being like, I'm going to make US, the crypto capital of the world. And we've had ETFs that help everyone actually invest in Bitcoin. And I can't see the next catalyst. Doesn't mean there's not going to be one, but it's just like maybe there is this bit of a lull. But
I think Trump is going to be shaking his Bitcoin bat around. And I think that everyone, including the taxi driver, will be investing in Bitcoin. And it will be every single person has money in Bitcoin. And it's just, but that's when it stops going up because there's no more money to go into it. Oh my God, I'm getting really smoked here.
No, but we don't know. Like honestly, the number of things that came out of the woodwork this year, that we never would have predicted. Like even Trump getting into power. It's just like,
yeah, but I want to be making educated guesses, and I feel like it's so hard, actually.
Do you think TikTok will get banned in the US?
No.
I think that Trump would just be like, that'd be a stupid move for him.
But he is stupid, so.
Do you think interest rates in New Zealand will be higher or lower by the end of the year?
What are they now?
It's at 4.25%. Remember what moves interest rates? So if New Zealand heads into recession or like things get a bit tough, then you want to cut interest rates to help like stimulate the economy. But if things are going really well, then you kind of either leave them as they are or you could possibly increase them. If inflation gets too high, then you want to start increasing rates.
I think it's going to be at about a 3%. I'm saying that because I think there is a tough time ahead for the New Zealand economy. And I think that I don't think it's going to drop crazy amounts because also that's so counterintuitive. If inflation is high, interest rates are high.
Because it's like a handbrake on the economy. You want to stop people spending. You want to encourage people to save because the more people that spend, the more prices go up, the more demand there is. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is very dependent. If we get runaway inflation again, we could very much see.
Because that's the thing, right? It's not just about like the economy struggling. If inflation all of a sudden gets even more out of control, interest rates will go up. But if the economy is struggling and inflation isn't super high, then I would say interest rates would be around 3%.
I like that figure.
Should we agree on one?
Yeah.
3%.
Both go 3%.
This is so much fun.
How many female CEOs do you think there'll be in the S&P 500? There's currently 30 out of the 500 companies in the index.
Wait, how many was there last year compared to this year?
So it's gone from, in 2021, we had 30. In 2022, we had 32. In 2023, we had 41. And we are now at 39 women in 2024. So it's been jumping around.
I'm going to go 45. No, that's too ambitious. I'm going to go 44. Did I just go one down?
I'm going to go 50. I just want
yeah.
this. I think this might be the year where there is a big acceleration in.
Same, actually.
Yeah.
No, I actually
just want this. They're almost to not be a backlash from Trump, but just like a, you know what, we can still progress despite who's leading the country and who, I just feel like there's going to be a big ramp up. So I'm going to go 50.
Okay. Can I change mine? I want to be ambitious.
No. Out of Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Google, so the kind of the big
Fabulous Five
companies,
or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Which do you think will perform the best at the end of the year?
Wait, yeah, I know. Let's do that. On the count of 3, let's say who we think it's going to be. Okay?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Google.
In the UK, do you think inflation will be higher or lower?
What is it at now?
It is at 3.7%. It's the highest level it's been since March last year.
Why would it go up?
It could go up because Trump decides it's going to be a trade war, and the biggest trading partner for the UK is the US. And so we know that tariffs don't mean, yes, the company pays them, but at the end of the day, it means higher prices on things for you and me. So that could be one reason. It could be things like climate change has been impacting the price of coffee, the price of agriculture, because supply is impacted. It could be energy costs are a big one for the UK.
Okay, all of these things are sounding like I'm guessing high, like 6%.
Yep. Okay, yeah.
What's your guess?
I reckon 4%.
You were just trying to lead me up the garden path, weren't you?
Oh, this is a goodie. And this is kind of free reign. What do you think will be the top 3 performing stocks in the S&P 500 by the end of the year?
This is so fun. Oh, God. Okay.
I feel like neither of us will get these right.
I'm guessing Google will be up there. I mean, we've both just guessed that. So Google.
I mean, this is just a bit fun. Like, it could be some rogue company like Monster Energy Drinks, which has done so well.
Has it?
Sorry, no, that's not in the S&P 500, so sorry.
But has it done well? It's so random who still drinks those.
I know. I was talking to a friend the other day, and it was like, if you were in the office and someone opened a can of Monster, it would almost be worse than them lighting up a cigarette.
So true. Like that sweet smell, you can just smell it from
also
a
just
mile away.
the kind of the judgment of like, oh my gosh, are you actually
They're also,
doing that?
honestly, the biggest drinks ever. Like, they're enormous. No wonder you actually fly off the wall.
The branding's horrific.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't think we're their target market, to be fair.
No.
I mean, I'm really struggling. I can't think of any companies, and my computer's too far away to even look at who's in the S&P 500 right now. Can you throw some names at me?
Why don't we? This is we look at the worst performing stocks in the S&P 500.
Okay.
Because, they might be the
underdogs.
Like Tesla? Do you think Tesla's going to do well?
Yes, actually, because him and Trump are like BFFs.
Hertz is one of the worst performing. Hertz car rentals. I don't think that's going to shoot the lights out more than Nvidia. Imagine.
Hertz, we're coming in. Like,
yeah, I'm coming in.
Pulling their trucks up.
Okay, other companies in the S&P 500, we've got like Visa, we've got MasterCard, we've got Airbnb.
I think maybe crypto or something crypto related will list. Something crypto related. MicroStrategy.
It's not in the S&P 500, but it could be added.
We talked about that in the club, by the way, in case anyone's like, what is that? In the investing club.
There is Ulta Beauty, eBay.
First Solar, I'm going. First Solar, I'm going Google. I'm going a random crypto company that all of a sudden booms to the top. What are your guesses?
I'm going to do NVIDIA again.
Damn, I was going to do that, but I thought it was too basic.
I'm going to do Google too. I feel like this is not a paid endorsement by Google. I'm going to do Pfizer just because.
What are they working on?
They're working on
the drug, the Ozempic drug.
And Netflix.
Bring it on. I feel like I'm going to lose already, but.
Can we have a fourth?
Yep.
Do you want to do a fourth? Yeah. I'm going to do Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's.
You love him, don't you?
Yeah. One more from you.
What do you? Oh, Tesla. I'm going to put Tesla in.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And
What are you putting in?
I'm going to change Pfizer to Meta.
Yeah, because did you see that thing? Did you
Yeah.
see that thing that the censorship stuff? Like, oh my God, he's so jumping into bed with Elon and Trump.
I know. Yeah.
They're having a threesome. I can feel it.
Definitely having a threesome. And then I saw this headline and it was like, Meta founder is a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. It's like, because it's like he's not fact checking any of his any of his stuff.
Good.
I was like, oh my God, is he? And I was like, oh, they're trying to get their point across. I see. I was like, kind of worked. Cool. So those are our predictions.
Okay. I can't wait to see.
Oh, last
we
one.
did.
What do you think is going to be the like left field black swan thing that nobody's thought about that's going to happen?
This is the best game we've ever played together.
Think absolute rogue.
ClassPass.
ClassPass will IPO. I think that's probably a good one.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
Okay.
But that's not a fun one. Okay. Oh, I reckon Alex Cooper's going to start running for president.
I agree, but that's 4 years away.
Yeah. Okay.
So she won't announce it yet.
No, you're right. What about Japan becomes the economic hub for the world?
Yeah.
Japan's economy just starts like kind of rivaling China's almost.
Yeah, I like that.
Honestly, if I could just, by the way, 5 years ago, look at myself now having so much fun guessing this random stuff, like it is ridiculous. There's probably 3 people still listening to this episode.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
no idea what you're
it's
talking
so
about.
boring.
Yeah.
I reckon Australia takes over New Zealand and there's an all-out war.
What's wrong with you?
I reckon Netflix and Spotify will merge.
Oh,
And
epic.
create one of the biggest companies, media companies in the world.
Genius. That's actually a genius one.
That's me.
Oh, I love that. That's so good.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. Can we
Fun.
fast forward to the end of the year and see who's right?
What, I should do this in my personal life.
So that is
I love how you managed to get out of researching for the Curve Weekly this week.
no, I did, but we've just run out of time because our predictions took so long. Anyway, hope everyone has had a great break over Christmas, New Year, and we're excited to be back online.
Can I just say, I would actually love to hear, can you either send us a DM or maybe actually just comment on Spotify? What is your number one prediction for what company you think is going to do the best for the S&P 500 for 2025? Like just comment. Well, look, I'll see you in New Zealand.
Soon. I know, you're on your way over soon. It was great. Everyone's like, when Sophie get here? I'm like, I should just wear a sign. I'm here. Sophie's coming.
Oh, I love that. People want to see me. Okay.
I know they do.
See you
I
soon.
want to see you. Bye.
I know. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Curve Weekly. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the money, biz and stock market news. And if you like what you heard, we would love a review. Thank you.
Yes, we would love a review. But if you
Only
did
the
hate
one.
it, please, don't leave one if you hate it. No, but in all seriousness, could you please leave a review? Because it really helps other people find our cute little podcast.
And we hope you have a good week and see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet. Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Lol. See you next Tuesday. I mean Monday.
No, actually, though, new episodes out every Tuesday. Okay, quickly. The Curve was created to empower and educate you about investing, but we are not financial advisors.
Our platform exists for educational purposes only, and it doesn't provide personalized investing advice for your individual needs and should not be relied upon to make an investment or financial decision.
And always remember to do your own research before making any investment or financial decision.
We're here for any knowledge and support you need, but the final call is always yours.
And thanks for being here.
You got this.
Yeah, we know you got this.